This lesson is on ratios, rates, and unit rates. The first thing is to go over the actual terms themselves. If you know what the terms are, it's a good starting point before we actually do any math with them. So the ratio is going to be a comparison of two quantities using division. So they actually represented three different ways. One is the normal fraction way, okay, 3 divided by 4. That's the most popular way because it looks like a fraction. Ratios are normally pretty much fractions, okay? Then you have the way where it says 3 to 4. They run it out verbally. 3 to 4 is another way of writing a ratio. And the last one is using the little symbol to write 3 to 4 ratio. You'll see all three of these ways, but the most popular way to use it is with a fraction, okay? And that's a ratio. The next one is a rate. A rate is a type of ratio. That's why you hear me use that term kind of interchangeably, especially yesterday's lesson. It is two quantities with different units. Miles per hour, meters per second. We talked about yesterday about miles per gallon, gallons per mile, depending on what you're doing. But it's two different units there. A rate or a unit rate is a little bit different. It has to have a denominator of 1. Hence the word unit. When you see the word unit, think 1. Okay, getting that denominator 1. So you're doing a lot of simplifying in order to get down to that denominator to 1. Whatever it may be, just make sure the denominator is 1. All right, so that's a unit rate. First example. All right, so how are we going to use it? This is the first example, example number 1. There are 45 males and 60 females in a subway car. The subway car travels 2.5 miles in 5 minutes. So the first question is asking, what is the ratio of males to females? The biggest mistake people make is they don't pay attention to what the words are saying, and they don't pay attention to the order. So as long as you pay attention to the exact words, okay, and the actual order of them, you're going to be okay. So find the ratio of males. Look at the males first. Well, in the problem, there are 45 males. So I'm going to write 45. I'll let the write as a fraction. You don't have to, but we're used to writing as a fraction. It's much easier to simplify. Something you're used to. To the females, 2 females. So we have a total of 60. So our initial ratio is 45 over 60. Okay, 45 over 60. Now we just need to go and simplify. Okay, and the rule is we need to use multiplication or division to do that. Okay, and whenever you do the top, the numerator, you have to do it to the denominator. So the first thing that comes to my mind is I see both these numbers ending in 5. So I'm going to go ahead and divide top and bottom by 5 here. And this equals 9 on the top, the numerator. 60 divided by 5 is 12, 9 twelfths. And then I'll notice 9 twelfths, can it be simplified? Well, your divisibility rule say 3 works, right? So divide top and bottom by 3. So divide top and bottom by 3, we can simplify more. We get 3/4. So our ratio of males to females, instead of just saying it's a 45 to 60 ratio, it's a lot easier to say it's 3 for every 4. So every 3 males you see on that subway car, you should see 4 females. All right. Now, for letter B, find the speed of the subway car. Now, this is assuming that it's going to be at a constant rate. Obviously, a subway car can speed up, slow down, especially if you're running into something. So speed. When you think of speed, you guys think of what? Miles per hour, right? Miles per hour is normal. But it could be also miles per minute, could be meters per second, it could be any unit. But what you're noticing is anytime you're dealing with speed, you're dealing with a distance divided by a time. Always remember that. You can always think that's the one you use most often, miles per hour, but it's always a distance divided by time. So if we're doing speed, okay, we need a distance divided by the time to do speed. So our distance, they say, this subway car travels 2.5 miles per, and a total of what? 5 minutes? Okay, 5 minutes. All right. So that is the ratio for the car. Now, can we simplify it? Yeah, definitely can. And definitely don't want to have a decimal within a fraction. You can have it, it's not a big deal, but we want to try to simplify further on. So the first step I would recommend is getting rid of the decimal before you simplify. And I would do that by technically multiplying by 10. And the reason why I said multiplying by 10 is because that's one decimal place movement. So 2.5 times 10 is going to give me 25 miles. Okay. And 5 minutes multiplied by 10 will give me what? 50 minutes. Okay. Now a little bit easier to work with now, right? What pops out to you as a divisibility rule for this? I mean, 25. Normally it's not one of our rules, but yeah, I mean, if you see 25, that makes it a whole lot easier to do. So if I divide by 25 here, when I do the top, do the bottom, and now 25 divided by 25 is going to give us 1, and that's our unit still, miles, right? We haven't been able to cancel anything out. 50 divided by 25 is 2, and our unit is minutes. So we're doing 1 mile every 2 minutes. Okay, 2 minutes. All right. So that's the first example. The second example is dealing with a table. So this one says the ratio table shows the cost for different amounts of artificial turf. Find the unit rate in dollars per square foot. So the big thing you want to make sure you pay attention to is that the units they're using, they want dollars per square foot. Okay, so they have a table here. You can actually just literally just pick one of those that you want to start with and go from there. So things to note: unit rate means denominator must be equal to 1, right? Denominator must be 1, and they want our whole thing to be what? Dollars per square foot. So let's go and write it. They want dollars top per what? Square foot. If you want to just do the symbol, you can. So what do we already know? We can take any of these values in this table. Preferably, it's probably easiest to do the smallest one, right? The smallest one, right? So we're going to take this one right there. So we're going to plug in for the amount of square feet, which is 25. We'll even do feet squared there. And the amount of money that's going to cost to do 25 square feet is going to cost, what, 100 bucks? According to the table? All right. Well, they are asking, the question's asking us for the unit rate, which means got to get that denominator to 1. Okay? So how do you take this denominator and get it to 1? Well, you just divide it by itself. So we're going to divide bottom by 25, and whatever you do to the top, you do also by 25. 25 divided by 25 is 1. That's still 1 foot squared. So the units, and then 100 divided by 25 is 4. Yeah. So it's going to be $4 per square foot. Okay. $4 per square foot. Now, if I really wanted to be nice, I can go and say, all right, we just built a football field. If we're using that same rate, could you go calculate how much it costs? I can tell you what it costs, but you can calculate it too, right? All right. That's it. Let me close it up. Oh, I hit this button there.